Yeah, massively. Yeah, gutted, mate. Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that? I mean, the reaction to the sending off, what did you make of that? Because they had a lot of the ball even with 12 men.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? I don't think we had a good ball set after they went down to 12 men pretty much, so credit to them, really. They really tightened the screws, didn't they? Kind of put us in corners, and we just couldn't generate any ruck speed, mate, to move the ball. I'm sure you want to move the ball when they're down to 12 men, but we just couldn't do that.
What does that come down to? Is that fatigue? Is that
No, just when so it did. Obviously, we were down. The precursor to that was we were down to 12, weren't we, for whatever it was, like 8 minutes or so, and they worked so hard to stay in the game for that period, and then we were pretty gassed off the back of that. So that first kind of, 7 or 8 minutes after they went down to 12, we were just still kind of getting our second wind, if you like, and then after that it just never came. We thought, you know what, we'll get a crack here, but just too many errors really from us in backfield and just not being able to get out. I mean, they've got blokes like Tim Laffey and Nene McDonald, they just get you a win, don't they? The physicality, and then you can play your yardage set off the front foot, and that just didn't happen today. We just got handled. I thought they managed us really well, back five, and then we were just playing off slow ones after that.
Thank you.
What did you think of the dismissal? Because your opposite number wasn't. He thought it was maybe a bit harsh. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I'm just not sure on them ones. Like, I've not seen it slowed down properly. Like, I didn't see the Will Lovell one properly either. It was a bit. We got a screen. Wasn't that great. Probably saw what you guys saw on the screen. So, I think they're pretty harsh in general. Them ones, like we had one with Rob Butler here. Not as bad as that, but he got a yellow card, and we got another one the other week at Hull KR. It's difficult, isn't it? Because we know the situation with concussion and contacts ahead, so they do seem harsh. They do, but I wouldn't want to comment too strongly until I've seen it more.
Did you kind of think this is our moment today, or did you have that feeling that the win was coming?
No, what I did think was we will get some moments in the game to try and win the game. That's what I felt. I didn't think, right, this is it now. But you certainly think, okay, if we can. It just come at a good time for us because we just rode out that as well with having 12 ourselves. So we thought, okay, we'll get a second win to have a crack here. But credit to them, I thought the way they turned the screw on us when they went down to 12 showed massive resolve and character from their group. Really good.
And I was going to say, like, obviously it's a bit. You don't like to spot games or anything, but I mean, next week's a big week coming up in the context of the season, isn't it?
Possibly. Yeah, I think this block as well. Like, if you look at the teams that are kind of, towards the mid to bottom tier, we've got three of them in the next four, haven't we?
Yeah.
So if you term it on league position, then yeah, there's on paper more competitive games or more winnable games, aren't they? So yeah.
With how competitive the league is, as a coach, if you don't take opportunities like that today, how much of a sort of concern is that?
I don't.
Like in terms of getting points on the board.
Oh yeah, it's a missed opportunity massively, isn't it? It's a home game, isn't it? There's a period where they're down to 12 men, so it is a missed opportunity. So I wouldn't say it's a concern as such. I don't really see it as that. It's just they're quite clinical with it, really. We'll look at the reasons why we lost the game. There's a few running through my head right now, but we'll want to have a look back and make a more informed decision on that.
Isn't this actually to some degree showing what you've been pointing out quite rightly after previous games, that it's a lack of physicality, and almost it's even more obvious today when there isn't also that huge gap in other respects than was, say, against Warrington.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, I think probably two similar teams, aren't they? The way Paul sets up Salford is to move the ball because they're not. Their physicality is probably not where the other top teams are, if you like. Your Wigans, your Warringtons, your Saints, your Catalans, and they move the ball, don't they, a lot? So very similar to what we do. But the biggest difference with Salford is that the physicality they do have in the back five, it gets them wins going forward, so they can always play on the front foot at least.
I mean, on paper, it looks like a great defensive performance, and it was a lot of desperation. but your opposition did create a lot of opportunities that they couldn't finish. So is that top of your list of positives today, that it was a good defensive performance because you only considered 12 points, or do you more look at the number of breaks they made and the opportunities they created? Like, is that a positive today?
Yeah, I think if you look at it in two sides, the middles defended fantastically well, and they created a lot of indecision opportunities on the edges, didn't they? So it's from an edges perspective, we've got a lot of work to do there.
And are the boys kind of downcast that they didn't make the most of the numerical advantage? Is that something that they'd be frustrated, or would they look at the scoreline and go, "Wow, that's one of our"?
Oh no! We want to win games, like we know we're up against it, but we still want to win games. We still think we can win games. So we're gutted with kind of the smaller parts of the game, which led to us not getting a crack, rather than we just didn't have the ball. We know we've got to earn it and do something to turn the tide. And someone's going to get us going forward at yardage at times, and just didn't happen.
Anyone back next week, or anyone injured today?
No, I don't know about the injuries. Nothing acutely has come through injury-wise, but Sadiq is really close now. He just missed out today with this ongoing contusion on his quad, and then Ethan Matol is very, very close. So he's in the mix.
Thanks for the help, mate.
All good.